This is the iPhone Air, and I absolutely love it. For someone who's been using the larger Pro Max series for the past few years, I was super excited when I got my hands on Apple's thinnest iPhone ever, the iPhone Air, which I've been using exclusively for over a week, and guess what? I believe that this is the best iPhone for most people. You see, when the iPhone Air was first announced, I was initially a little confused. On one side, I have always used the Pro series iPhones, especially the Pro Max. Now, the new iPhone 17 Pro is a powerhouse that is refined, full-featured, and loaded with pro-level tools. On the other side, the iPhone Air is Apple's most exciting iPhone yet, as it is a radical departure in design, and it's ultra-thin, lightweight, and built to stand out. I unboxed both the Pro and the Air on launch day, and right when I held the Air, something clicked. It felt like something new. It actually felt like holding the future, especially after holding the bulkier iPhones all these years. So I asked myself, could this thin, light device keep up with my daily needs? So instead of using the Pro Max, I used the Air for a full week as my main device. And spoiler alert, as much as I love this iPhone Air and want to keep it, I will sadly be going back to the Pro. However, it is simply due to just one thing, and I will get to that later in the video. But still, my statement from earlier is the same. The Air is still the best iPhone for most people. Alright, so let's first talk about design, especially when it comes to thickness and weight. The Air is insanely thin, measuring in at just 5.6 millimeters. It's by far the slimmest iPhone I have ever used. It is feather light. In contrast, the 17 Pro is thicker and heavier. When you get used to the Air on a daily basis and then you hold the Pro or Pro Max, those phones just end up feeling like bricks. And though it's thin, it's still very durable. In fact, Apple calls it their most durable iPhone. And though I'm very much scared to be testing the durability myself, I have seen a ton of videos online proving the validity of Apple's claims. The Air uses a titanium frame, which gives it great rigidity without sacrificing that thin profile. The 17 Pro sticks with aluminum to help manage heat. The colors of the Air, in my opinion, are also classier than the Pro. I got the Space Black because, to be honest, I think it's absolutely badass and stealthy. My wife got the Sky Blue Air, but to be very honest, all of the other colors aside from Space Black leave me a little confused. On Apple's website and videos, they look pretty nice, but in reality, they all look white. Like every time my wife was using the Sky Blue iPhone, I thought it was a white one. And then I had a friend who got a gold one, and I couldn't tell the difference. They all looked white. I know this is just me nitpicking here, but Apple should have saturated the colors a little more, but regardless, I have the Space Black one and it looks stunning. But you see, when you put the thinness and the lightness and the colors aside, it's about how it feels when you hold it in your hand. And trust me, pictures don't do justice. You actually have to get an iPhone Air and hold it in your hand to truly understand how great it feels. After a week of using it, I noticed that I'm less fatigued holding the Air for long stretches, whether it's for reading, taking pictures, or browsing through emails and social media. But you see, this is exactly what I like about the Air so much. For several years, phones have gotten increasingly larger both in form factor and screen size, and they all feel heavier, and trust me, you feel it in your pocket too, especially with the Pro Max. But with the Air, it's almost like going backwards, but in a good way, because for me, it's about the emotional connection, how satisfying it is to just pick the phone up. And when you look at the screen size, you get a 6.5-inch display, which is perfectly in between the 17 Pro's 6.3-inch and the Pro Max's 6.9-inch screen sizes. It honestly feels like the perfect size. And just like the Pro, the Air supports the 120Hz ProMotion display with HDR10, Dolby Vision, always on display, and peak brightness up to 3000 nits. So what's different, however, is how it feels in use. The iPhone Air's panel, combined with the lightweight design, gives it a sense of seamlessness. Scrolling feels nimble, reading feels natural. In daily use, social media, email, messaging, videos, the Air hasn't missed a beat. And that brings me to the next point, performance. Both the Pro and the Air are powered by Apple's A19 Pro chip, which is a beast in its own right. But there's a catch. The Air's vision is binned, meaning it has one fewer GPU core than the 17 Pro. The Pro also benefits from a better cooling system with its new vapor chamber, which helps under sustained load, and also helps it from heating up so much. And once again, this all sounds and looks great when you look at it in commercials and a spec sheet, but in everyday tasks like browsing the web, streaming, messaging, light gaming, trust me when I say this, you are not going to tell a difference. I will go as far as to say that you can pick up all of the most recent iPhones from the past few years and they're all lightning fast. For the average user, whether they pick up an iPhone Air or an iPhone Pro, they're not going to tell a difference really when it comes to performance. In fact, after a week of using it, I rarely felt a difference in my routine. And I'm a digital marketing consultant who primarily works from home in coffee shops, and I use the M4 iPad Pro as my main computer. And because it literally has the same apps on it as my iPhone, I actually do all my social media, messaging, content consumption primarily on the iPad. And I use my iPhone for just lighter tasks and filming videos. But if your use case includes heavy editing on the go on your phone, or high-end gaming, or demanding creative workflows, the Pro still has the upside. Now, if you remember earlier when I started off this video, I said that though I love the iPhone Air, I'm still sticking with the 17 Pro Max, and that is because of one reason: the cameras. Let me just first off start by saying that the camera on the iPhone Air is amazing. It takes amazing pictures and videos. It has the same exact 48 megapixel main camera as the Pro, supports standard stabilization, and gives you very nice video capture. But look, at the end of the day, I am a content creator as well. And all of the videos that you see on my channel are actually shot on my iPhone. So for me, the telephoto, ultra wide, macro, and advanced stabilization features on a Pro, they all kind of mean a lot to me. Plus, I get cinematic 4K HDR, which is what I've been filming all my A-roll for the past few years. This video that you're watching right now is filmed with cinematic 4K HDR on my 17 Pro Max, and unfortunately, I can't do that with the iPhone Air. So it's hard to go back to a phone that doesn't have those things for me. But you see, if I wasn't a content creator, which most people watching this video are probably not a content creator, to be honest, so then all these things that I just listed are probably things that you don't even need. In fact, most people I observe, be it friends or family, when they're taking pictures and videos, they just take their phone out and capture. They're not selecting which camera lens they want to use or which adjustments they need to make. They're just clicking. And for that, the main 48 megapixel camera, which is also on the Pro phones, is beautiful. And I also feel that Apple knows this because with iOS 26, they redesigned the camera app, putting just photo and video buttons in focus. It's not till you swipe till you see all the other options. And also, let's talk about audio now. The Air speaker is decent, and it's not stereo, but I found it acceptable in most use cases. Now let's go over something that a lot of people have been asking me about: the battery life. And yes, let me say it right now, the iPhone Air does not match the iPhone Pro. The 17 Pro claims around 33 hours of video playback, and the Air claims around 27 hours. Now, video playback is an interesting metric, so let me break it down for you. Over a typical weekday, I'm mostly sending messages, answering calls, going through social media, reading the news, browsing the internet, watching some YouTube videos, and filming content. For all of that, I found the Air comfortably lasts a full day, though it's closer to the margin than a Pro. But I also want to mention that I'm mostly at a desk where I use a MagSafe charging stand, and when I drive, I always have it in its designated wireless charging spot. So because of my lifestyle and the way I use my phone, I honestly don't feel like my phone is that hungry for charging, mostly because it's always on some sort of charging pad. I actually think that the Air is perfect, especially for those who work from home. All right, now let's discuss price. The iPhone 17 Pro starts at $1099 for 256 gigabytes, and the iPhone Air is $999 with the same 256 gigabytes. That's just a $100 gap, and it may not be big for many. If anything, most people on the internet are saying, why not just pay $100 more and get the Pro? But you see, the decision is different this time around. This time, it's not about specs. This might sound dramatic now, but honestly, it's about how your phone feels in your hand and how you use it on a daily basis. And after a week of me using the iPhone Air, that emotional feeling is real. I love reaching for the iPhone Air. It feels fresh, unique, and as if I'm holding an iPhone that's the gold standard for future iPhones. Because I do believe that in the future, phones are slowly going to get thinner. Maybe not as thin as the Air, but we're going to get to that point. I mean, just look at MacBook Pros the way they were before, and look at MacBook Pros now. They're so much thinner, and they're only about to get even more thinner next year. So in today's video, I wanted to give you my honest thoughts and opinions. If I were choosing for me, and if I wasn't a content creator, then I would choose the Air any day over the Pro. So that's my experience of using the iPhone Air daily. I love it. And if you're debating between the Pro or the Air, I hope this video gives you a grounded perspective. But as always, I want to know your thoughts. Which one would you pick? Are you torn like I was between design and power? Drop your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. And if you found this video helpful, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you next time.